My relationship with Fu Jing was in serious trouble. We were constantly arguing, giving each other the silent treatment. We were tired of it all. And right then, I found out I was pregnant. I went to him, pregnancy test in hand. He handed me divorce papers. Fu Jing said, "Let's get a divorce." My hand clutching the pregnancy test tightened a bit. I looked at him. This was the man I knew better than anyone. But his face was cold, distant, like he wanted to keep everyone at arm's length. "Why?" I asked. A sarcastic smile touched his lips. He said casually, "I'm tired of it, fed up, completely over it. We haven't been intimate for over half a year. You must have noticed, right?" I stared at him, a little stunned. Fu Jing seemed to remember something. He quickly looked away, snapping the cigarette between his fingers. He said, "Last time was an accident." I was a bit confused. But then it clicked. He meant that time, around the middle of last month. He'd come home plastered after a work dinner, clinging to me and calling me wife. After that, we did what married couples do. It was only natural. For any married couple, that's not just normal, it's practically an obligation. But for Fu Jing, it had somehow become this shameful secret. If Fu Jing saying he was tired of it, fed up, was like a slap in the face, then his adding that last bit was like twisting a knife in my heart. The pregnancy test in my hand was all crumpled. I opened my bag and shoved it inside. "Okay," I said. Fu Jing froze, looking like all the air had gone out of him. He must have had a whole speech ready, but I didn't give him the chance to say it. This feeling of being cut off mid-sentence clearly made him look frustrated, but that didn't make me feel any better. I thought, what on earth makes him think I'd cling to him? Even though my hand was shaking a little. He said, "All right then. Here's the divorce agreement. Take a look. I've split the assets. If you're not happy, just say so. You can have this apartment too." I took the papers and read them carefully. As for how the assets were split, I'd say it was generous and fair. But a contract this detailed doesn't get written in a day. He'd clearly been planning this for a long time. I asked him, "When did you start putting this together?" Fu Jing sounded impatient. "What's the point of asking that?" "No point. I just wanted to know if the candlelight dinner I'd so carefully made for him the day before yesterday was all for nothing. Back then, we'd already been giving each other the silent treatment for a whole week. It started when I tried to give him a peck on the cheek before work, and he dodged it. He said, "We're an old married couple. No need for all that mushy stuff." An old married couple? Not really. But it had been 7 solid years. The 7-year itch, maybe. His reaction instantly made things icy between us. Without saying a word, we started the Cold War. I don't know how he felt, but I felt awful. I started wondering if I was being too sensitive, making a big deal out of nothing. So I made dinner, called him myself, and asked him to come home early. He came back, and we ate a pretty awkward meal. On the surface, it looked like we'd made up, but I knew the invisible wall between us was just getting thicker. So yeah, asking a question I already knew the answer to was pretty pointless. I picked up the pen on the table and signed my name at the bottom of the papers. "I don't want the apartment." I glanced at the clock. 10 in the morning. "I'll have someone come get my stuff this afternoon." Fu Jing frowned. "Why don't you want it?" I looked around. I designed the decor here myself, exactly to my taste. Fu Jing had personally overseen the renovations, making sure every detail was perfect, just how I wanted it. Fu Jing and I built this home together. Live here after a divorce. The thought alone made me uneasy. I smiled at him. Tired of it, fed up. Time for a change of scenery. You could see Fu Jing's face darken instantly. He gritted his teeth. "Suit yourself." I nodded. "Tomorrow, 8 a.m. Bring your ID, household registration, marriage certificate. Civil Affairs Bureau. You're in that much of a hurry." I sighed to myself. Fu Jing had the upper hand at first, totally schooling me, but now he was starting to crack. And I've always known how to hit someone where it hurts. Actually, I'm pretty grateful you brought up divorce now. I'm still young enough, I can bounce back. I hear older sisters like me are pretty popular on the market these days. I raised an eyebrow at him. Time's a wastin'. I need to get busy finding Mr. Right number 2. Fu Jing glared at me, his breath coming in short gasps. Ji sang, "Don't push it. We're not divorced yet. The clock's ticking. You're not going to back out, are you?" Fu Jing's eyes blazed. The clock's ticking. Whoever backs out is a total chicken. Satisfied, I turned to walk away. "Wait," Fu Jing called after me. "You said you had something to tell me. What was it?" My hand automatically covered my bag. "Oh, it's nothing. Nothing at all. Back at my studio, I asked my assistant, Xiao Bai, to get some people and help me pack. She's always been with me, so she knew my routines and that house like the back of her hand. She stared at me, shocked. Sis, what happened? I wasn't going to hide it. We got divorced, I said. Xiao Bai looked stunned for a second, then her face filled with anger. Mr. Fu is such a jerk. I'll go pack right now. I won't leave a single shoelace behind for him. And with that, she stormed off, fuming. I watched her go, feeling a bit dazed. Xiao Bai had been with me for 8 years longer than my marriage. So she'd seen everything between Fu Jing and me. She'd seen us head over heels in love. And she'd seen that love slowly die. She used to look at me with such envy and say, Sis, you make me believe in love again. Sis, one day I'm going to find a man who loves me as much as Mr. Fu loves you. Sis, you two are so incredibly happy. But now, I guess Fu Jing and I really shattered her dreams about love and marriage. We're practically criminals for that. I pulled the pregnancy test from my bag. This baby, talk about bad timing. Fu Jing and I had been married 7 years. At first, we weren't ready for kids, so we always used protection. The last couple of years, as we got older, and with our parents nagging us, we started trying for a baby. But things never work out how you want them to. Then our relationship started going downhill, slowly. We were intimate less and less. Just like Fu Jing said, apart from that one time, we really hadn't been together for over half a year. I never thought one careless moment would lead to this. It was just terrible timing. Since that was the case, it was best to deal with it quickly. After giving some instructions at the studio, I drove straight to the hospital. I wanted to book the procedure for the day after tomorrow, but the doctor said the gestational sac was still tiny, just a few millimeters, and told me to come back in a week. A week later, I touched my belly and my mood hit rock bottom. I sat in the car, my face blank. I hate waiting. Especially when this wait meant a life was growing. It was insane. A tiny life I was growing, and I had to wait for it to get bigger just so I could end it. Just then, Xiao Bai called. She asked, Sis, what about the wedding photos at the apartment? Wedding photos? My face got even colder. Trash belongs in the trash. Xiao Bai's voice perked up. Okay, got it. Later, Xiao Bai told me Fu Jing came back while she was tossing the wedding photos. She said when he saw them throwing the pictures out, his face went pale, and he demanded to know what they were doing. Then Xiao Bai told him what I'd said. Sis, you wouldn't believe Mr. Fu's face when he heard that. TSK, it was a real colorful mess. Then he grabbed scissors and shredded every single photo. Even though Mr. Fu acted pretty drastically, I got the feeling he was in a terrible mood. Sis, don't you think Mr. Fu regrets it? I snorted. Regret? Nah. His ego just took a beating, that's all. Alright, back to work. And let's not talk about him anymore. Oh, I thought I had planned for everything, but I never imagined Fu Jing would actually stand me up. Not only did he not show, he didn't even answer his phone. I sneered. That bastard. Always has been. I marched straight to his company. The receptionist politely let me in, but his secretary stopped me. This young woman was quite pretty, attractive but not in a flirty way. And I'd seen her before. Just over a month ago, she was the one who brought a drunk Fu Jing home. He had his arm around her shoulder, she had hers around his waist, they were practically joined at the hip. And, like she was making absolutely sure I'd see it, she pointed to a lipstick stain on Fu Jing's collar. Sis, she said, Mr. Fu had too much to drink and got a bit handsy. I accidentally left a lipstick mark. Please don't be mad. Let a man with even a little bit of power and money off the leash, and he's dangerous. I'd seen plenty of these games over the years. This girl's little act was clearly amateur hour. So I told her, you're doing it wrong. You shouldn't say anything. You should look hesitant, shy, flustered, avoid my gaze, and wait for me to figure it out. That's how a pro stirs up trouble, got it. Then she actually started looking shifty, and practically ran away. But looking at her now, it seemed my lesson hadn't sunk in. Miss G, Mr. Fu is in a meeting. He doesn't have time. If you need him, you should make an appointment. I scoffed. The divorce papers, did you draw them up? A flicker of triumph flashed in the secretary's eyes. Before she could say anything, I cut her off. Little sister, trying to flex on me is a bad idea. You might not know this, but I own shares in this company. Forget Fu Jing's office, I can even decide if you get to keep your job. The secretary was clearly shaken. What's all the racket? Fu Jing suddenly appeared, sounding annoyed. The secretary looked like her savior had arrived. Mr. Fu, I was just doing my job, but Miss G threatened to fire me. Fu Jing didn't even spare her a glance. He looked at me. What are you doing at the company? Who do you think you're kidding? I tapped my watch. Time's up. Are you planning to make me call you a spineless loser for backing out? Fu Jing's face turned thunderous. I had a meeting this morning. I forgot. Fine, I'll let it slide this once. We still have time. Let's go now. I have another. I cut him off. Cancel it. Fu Jing stared at me. I met his gaze, my expression serious. Fu Jing, I'm not here to mess around. You're busy, I'm busy. You've already wasted an hour of my time. Fu Jing sneered. Fine. Let's go. We arrived at the Civil Affairs Bureau separately. I'd asked Xiaobai to hold our spot in line. By the time we got there were only 2 couples ahead of us. Sis, I'll head off then, Xiaobai said. I nodded and found a seat. Fu Jing snorted. You really came prepared, didn't you? What, wanted a divorce for ages? If you wanted out so badly, you should have just said so. I wouldn't have. Fu Jing. I cut him off. Why are you being so sarcastic? What are you so upset about? Don't tell me you're regretting this. No way. Fu Jing jumped to his feet like someone had stepped on his tail. He declared, I could never regret this. I'm going out for a smoke. And with that, he rushed outside. For the next half hour, we didn't say a word. Both of us sat there, stone-faced, far apart. Now this looked like a couple getting divorced. The whole thing was over quickly. 10 minutes later, we had our divorce certificates. Leaving the bureau, Fu Jing asked, want to get something to eat? A breakup meal? If you want to call it that, sure. I smiled faintly. No thanks, I have plans. With who? Fu Jing's eyes darkened. None of your business. I got in my car and drove off. In the rearview mirror, I saw Fu Jing just standing there, frozen to the spot. He was still standing there when I turned the corner. Fu Jing, oh Fu Jing, you better not regret this. If you try to pull that, you don't know what you've got till it's gone crap on me. That would be a real insult to all our years together. Fu Jing and I met at university. Our first meeting was pretty dramatic. I was young, just got my license, and was showing off around campus in my dad's car. Turns out, my driving sucked. I just couldn't parallel park to save my life. Panicking, I yanked the wheel, hit the gas, and sent Fu Jing, who was watching my pathetic attempts, flying into the bushes. Fu Jing had been amused watching me struggle, never guessing he'd end up a casualty. So, I had to take care of him. That lasted for 2 weeks. He was a terrible patient, super picky, and always complaining. Those 2 weeks were pure hell for me. The second he was better, I was out of there. But then he started chasing me. Because of those 2 weeks of torture, it took Fu Jing 6 months to win me over. He really regretted that. He'd say, I was only teasing you because I liked you. How can you call that torture? I was speechless. If you like a girl, make her cry. Isn't that how little kids think? And a lot of things later on proved that Fu Jing really did think like a little kid. He was childish, impulsive, never thought things through, and just did whatever he wanted. Being with him was a lot of fun, because he always brought this intense passion. But feelings can't stay at a boiling point forever. When they cool down, they just become like plain, boring water. How much did the divorce really affect me? To people around me, probably almost zero. I was laughing, talking, perfectly calm. My work and life went on as usual. But I knew I was just drowning myself in work to keep from thinking. So I wouldn't think about Fu Jing, or the baby. But then Fu Jing just had to show up and punch my client. All because the client caught me when I nearly tripped. What do you think you're doing? Who the hell said you could touch her? I just saw a blur, and the next thing I knew, the man holding me up went flying. Fu Jing was on top of him, punching him again and again. I snapped out of it and rushed to pull him off. Fu Jing, stop. Are you insane? Stop it. Fu Jing whirled around and glared at me. You're King defending him. What is wrong with you? He's my client. Client? His hand was on your waist. Since when do you have to sell yourself to get clients? Fu Jing, get the hell out of here. I slammed my bag into his back. Are you crazy? Can't you tell friend from foe? Fu Jing tried to block it and pushed me away. He pushed me so hard I stumbled back, until I slammed into the pillar behind me. A sharp pain shot through my spine. Then my stomach clenched, a deep, dragging ache. I slowly crumpled to the floor, my vision blurring. Sang sang, what's wrong? Why are you so pale? You're bleeding. Where are you hurt? I barely pushed you. Where did you hit yourself? Sang, don't scare me. What's wrong? When I woke up, I was in the hospital. The first thing I saw was Fu Jing. His eyes were full of complicated emotions. He asked, why didn't you tell me? Tell you what? About the baby. Why didn't you tell me? Was that what you wanted to say last time? Why didn't you say it? If you'd told me. I pulled my hand from his. There are no ifs. We're divorced. And besides, I wasn't planning on keeping this baby. Fu Jing shot to his feet. What do you mean? I mean, I'm going to have an abortion. Fu Jing stared at me, disbelieving. Why? This is our child. What right do you have to decide by yourself? No, wait. You haven't had the surgery after all this time. You were going to keep it, weren't you? You're just mad at me. I laughed, a cold, sarcastic sound. You're thinking too much. The gestational sac was too small for surgery. Go ask the doctor if you don't believe me. My words seemed to hit Fu Jing hard. His eyes widened, his face a mask of disbelief. Why? I looked at Fu Jing. Why what? It's just an embryo. Why are you making such a big deal out of it? Fu Jing's breathing grew heavy. An embryo? This is our child. I turned my head away, annoyed. Just go. We're divorced. My business is none of your business. What do you mean, none of my business? Ji sang, let me be clear, without me, you think you can reproduce on your own. I sneered. It was an accident. Something that shouldn't have happened shouldn't be kept. I forbid it. Fu Jing yelled. This is our child. You have no right to make this decision alone. I don't know if it was hormones or Fu Jing, but a furious anger welled up inside me. I fought to keep it down, trying not to lose it. It wouldn't be dignified. But Fu Jing didn't know when to quit. He said, sang, let's get remarried. Boom. That one sentence was the last straw. Get out, Fu Jing. Get the hell out. Fu Jing just stared at me. He reached out a hand, then slowly pulled it back. Finally, he said, okay, I'll go. Just don't be angry. I collapsed back onto the hospital bed. Only then did I realize tears were streaming down my face. Doctor, can I have the surgery now? Yes, you can. Okay, please schedule it for me as soon as possible. My surgery was set for the next afternoon. I didn't tell anyone. It was just a small procedure. But Fu Jing showed up again. He asked me, what do I have to do for you to keep this baby? I closed my eyes and turned my head away, not wanting to argue with him anymore. I was wrong, okay. I was wrong. Can we stop fighting and just be happy together, please? Sang, we've been together for 11 years. We've come so far, and now there's a baby. Are you really just going to throw it all away? Fu Jing, I cut him off. Just stop. I'm tired of playing this game where if one role doesn't work out, we just switch to another and try to keep going. What do you mean? Fu Jing asked, his face unreadable. There's this funny joke online. It says, never make a woman cry. A woman's tears are just the water flooding her brain. Once she drains all that water, she's not so easy to fool anymore. I used to think that was ridiculous. Are women really that blinded by love? I didn't believe it. But later, I realized it kind of is true. When you're in the middle of something, you can't see clearly. Once you step back, a lot of things become obvious. Do you remember what happened before we got married? Fu Jing, why did you really marry me in the first place? Fu Jing and I got married not long after college. He asked, I said yes. But the truth is, even before we got married, our relationship was already in trouble. They say graduation season is breakup season. You step out into the real world, new friends, new experiences, and suddenly your relationship isn't so certain anymore. Fu Jing and I were no different. He was starting his own business back then, with his friends. I was still in school, studying for my master's and doing freelance design work. We rented a place near campus. At first, he tried to come home every day. Then it slowly became once a week. One day, we made plans for him to come home. I even cooked a big, fancy meal. But in the afternoon, he called suddenly, said something came up, and he couldn't make it. I was pretty disappointed. Normally, I would have understood, told him it was fine, not to worry. But that time, for some strange reason, I got stubborn. I told him, no, you have to come back. Fu Jing was quiet for a long time, then just said, fine. He didn't argue, didn't fight, acted like nothing was wrong. Until the next morning. We were both still asleep when his phone rang. I just reached over, put it on speaker, and held it near his ear. Then a woman's voice came on. She said, hey honey, you tore my black stockings. You gonna pay up or what? Don't tell me you're gonna stiff me. Fu Jing shot up, grabbing for the phone. But I was quicker. My face was like ice as I said into the phone, honey probably can't pay you. Give your address to his wifey here, and I'll make sure you get enough stockings to last you a lifetime. The line went dead. Fu Jing tried to explain. She's just some party girl. People like that talk trash, you can't take them seriously. Why are you getting worked up over her? Oh really? If she's like that, then why are you still talking to her? Fu Jing looked annoyed. It was just that one time, I told you. I went with a client, left my number. Look, I didn't even save her name. If she calls me, what am I supposed to do? But his phone log told a different story. Just yesterday afternoon, right before he called me to say he wasn't coming home, he'd taken a call from her number. A minute later, he'd called her back. What's this about? I asked him. After a pause, he said, she called me yesterday, asked me to dinner. Then he added, but I didn't go, did I? I laughed, but there was no humor in it. You didn't go. Or I didn't let you go. If I hadn't put my foot down, were you planning on buying her more stockings just to tear them again? Fu Jing, if you didn't give her an opening, why would she be all over you? You said she's nobody, so why are you still dealing with her? Fu Jing, I really don't like this. Back then, I was like a lot of girls. I thought my boyfriend just didn't realize his actions were hurting me. So I had to tell him, make him change. But I forgot, we all went to school. Nobody's that stupid. Fu Jing got really impatient. Alright, I get it. I just won't contact her anymore, okay. But did he really stop? I checked his call log again later. In less than 20 days, 3 calls, all in the middle of the night. We had another huge fight. In the heat of the moment, Fu Jing blurted out, let's break up. He regretted it instantly. He hugged me, tried to smooth things over, said he only asked the girl to save him a seat. He promised he'd never contact her again, and blocked her number. To be honest, even then, I didn't think Fu Jing would actually do anything. I just thought he didn't understand how much his actions hurt me. After that, he proposed. We stopped being boyfriend and girlfriend and started a new chapter as husband and wife. Fu Jing. I asked him back then, did you genuinely not know what you were doing, or were you just looking for some excitement? Fu Jing. Did you really want to marry me, or was our relationship failing, so you thought changing our status might fix it? 3.5 years of dating, the spark was gone, you couldn't handle it. So we got married to try and start fresh with a new label. When we first got married, we were incredibly happy. We'd wake up together. I'd make breakfast while he made fresh soy milk. Then we'd go to work together. He'd drop me off at my company first. I told him I could drive myself. He'd say, if my wife has to do that, what's the point of having a husband? He'd tell me everything, discuss every little thing with me. He'd even brag, another woman asked for my number today, but I shot her down. Aren't I a good boy, wifey? Every day after work, he'd show up at my studio half an hour early with a bouquet of roses. He'd say, whatever other girls have, my Sang Sang has to have double. Every week, he'd take a day off just for a date with me. We'd go to movies, go camping. He'd plan everything perfectly. He'd say, my Sang Sang just needs to relax and enjoy. He rarely went out for work dinners unless he absolutely couldn't get out of it. He'd cook with me at home, read, clean up. He'd say, being married is great. Having a wife is the best. We traveled every year. Different places, different sights. He'd say, I'm going to take you all over the world until we're old and gray and can't walk anymore. It felt like we were back in the honeymoon phase. Everything was so perfect. He was like a roaring fire, and his warmth made even my breath feel hot. But even the biggest fire burns out eventually. And when it's gone, all that's left is ashes. But Fu Jing, how long did your passion really last? Barely 3 years. After 3 years, his enthusiasm slowly faded. Our marriage settled into a quiet routine. At the time, I didn't think anything of it. It seemed perfectly normal. Life isn't a rom-com, after all. Everything eventually comes down to everyday chores and bills. That's just what marriage is. And so, we lived pretty peacefully for 2 years. Then, our relationship nosedived, hitting rock bottom. After the divorce, I finally started to really look back at my time with Fu Jing. I took all our memories, picked them apart piece by piece. And finally, I saw the whole picture. When did things really start to go wrong in our marriage? I think it was probably when we stopped wanting each other. It was a completely ordinary night. We were in bed, about to go to sleep, when Fu Jing suddenly rolled over and started kissing me. It was so familiar, what would happen next was practically automatic. But then, he suddenly stopped. He propped himself up on his elbows, looked at me for a few seconds, then rolled off. He said, you go to sleep. I just remembered I have some work to finish. We'd been together for so long, I was way past being sensitive to his moods. I didn't think anything of it and just went to sleep. He didn't come back to bed that night, he slept in the study. The next day, he left on a business trip for 2 weeks. When he got back, he threw himself into work like a maniac. By the time I realized what was happening, things between us were already ice cold. When dating didn't work, you wanted to get married. When marriage didn't work, you wanted a divorce. And now, I looked at Fujing. Does having a baby make you think we can keep this going as parents? But Fujing, I don't want that anymore. I told Fujing so much. I thought after all that, he'd understand. But he seemed to be lost in his own world. His eyes were red as he said, I won't let you. He stubbornly refused to let me have the surgery. He threw a massive tantrum at the hospital, even hit a security guard. The hospital was about to call the cops. Watching this whole mess, seeing Fujing looking so pathetic, I finally just nodded and cancelled the surgery. A wave of relief washed over Fujing's face. I was starting not to get him at all. What was he so obsessed with? I stayed in the hospital for 3 days. For those 3 days, Fujing never left my side. Like if he looked away for 1 minute, I'd sneak off and get rid of the baby. We didn't talk much. Whether you're a couple or married, a lot of things are better left unsaid. Because words can cut deep. It's a hard line to walk. I'd already laid everything bare. It was like tearing off all the masks, stripping away all the pretty illusions. All that was left was raw and bloody, and we were both hurting. When I was discharged, Fujing asked where I was going. Back to the studio, I said. He frowned. You need to rest. I looked at him, my face blank. Fujing, I never agreed to keep this baby. Seeing Fujing start to get agitated again, I quickly cut him off. His moods, his drama, I was just too tired to deal with it anymore. I said, I'm going to the studio. If you don't drive me, I'll get a taxi. Fujing finally gave in. Because Fujing had hit my client, it had caused a lot of trouble for the studio. I had Xiaobai smooth things over with the client, pay compensation, and I even promised to design his house for free. Only then did he drop the idea of calling the police on Fujing. But he insisted I do the design myself. I agreed. He'd been pestering me about it for days. That was also why I'd delayed the abortion. The doctor said the best time for an abortion was between 7 and 8 weeks. She told me to decide when. My eyes drifted over to Fujing. Yesterday he'd asked me, Sang, do you really hate me that much? I didn't answer. Truthfully, it wasn't about hate. It wasn't that dramatic. It was just that we couldn't find a way to be together anymore. Or to put it more bluntly, we just weren't right for each other. Fujing glanced at me in the rearview mirror. The moment our eyes met, I slowly looked away. I worked like crazy for a week and finally got the client to sign off. That whole week, Fujing acted like he was unemployed, practically living at my studio. Everyone except Xiaobai was green with envy. Xiaobai couldn't stand Fujing. She complained to me, men are such jerks. They have a good thing, and they don't appreciate it, they just have to mess it up. Now he regrets it, huh? Sis, don't you dare forgive him too easily. I paused. You think I'll get back with him? Xiaobai nodded. It's not like there were any huge problems between you and Mr. Fu. No cheating, no abuse, none of the really unforgivable stuff. The divorce was impulsive. Getting back together is bound to happen, right? Her words made me stop and think. When I looked at Fujing, at all those years we'd spent together, sometimes I did wonder. Was I being too stubborn? Fujing had apologized. He hadn't really done anything awful. And now there was the baby. Shouldn't I just take the easy way out when he offered it? I was so confused. So I decided to try one last time. I signed us up for a parenting class for new parents. Fujing came with me. There were lots of other couples there like us. Some women already had big round bellies. Some were just starting to show. And some, like me, weren't showing at all. At first, the instructor went over a lot of theory. Fujing listened intently, and I watched him intently. I couldn't picture Fujing as a father. Just like I couldn't picture myself as a mother. But the father of Ji Sang's child, that title really only fit Fujing. But Fujing. I suddenly stood up. What's wrong? Fujing asked. Nothing, just need some air. I'll come with you. I shook my head. You stay here. I'll just be a minute. I stayed outside for half an hour. I thought about so many things, and yet it felt like I thought about nothing. My head was a mess. When I went back inside, Fujing was holding a baby, looking completely lost. It was actually kind of funny. What are you doing now? I asked him. Fujing said, burping the baby. The instructor nearby explained, a baby's stomach is horizontal. If you lay them down right after feeding, they can easily spit up or choke. So you always have to burp them after they eat to get rid of any air they swallowed. I had no idea about any of this. Every single time they eat. That's right. So how often do babies usually eat? The teacher said, newborns eat on demand. Whenever the baby's hungry or when the mom's breasts are full, it's time to feed. Generally, that's every 1 or 2 hours. As they get older, they'll eat less often. But it really depends on the baby. The teacher smiled. Some babies are little angels, some are little devils. Theory is just theory, after all. That afternoon, Fujing learned how to hold a baby, how to dress one, change a diaper, burp one, give one a bath. When we left the training center, he let out a huge sigh. Tired? I asked. He immediately straightened up. Not at all. Looking at him, I said, the one thing in this world you can't quit halfway or just walk away from is raising a child. From the moment they're born until they learn to talk, then walk, and then slowly grow up once it starts, you can't just stop. Being a father isn't about excitement. It's about responsibility and duty. Fujing, are you really, truly ready for that? Fujing started to speak, but I stopped him. Don't answer right away. I'll give you time. Think about it, really think. And I needed to think too. Fujing still showed up every single day. He made me all sorts of healthy meals. Wherever I went, he was there with me. Just like when we first got married. Xiaobai teased me, sis, am I going to be invited to another wedding soon? But my heart was slowly sinking. Fujing seemed distracted, out of it. Other people might not have noticed, but I saw it right away. Every now and then, he'd just stare blankly for a few seconds, or his eyes would drift to my stomach, his gaze heavy and unreadable. I tried to tell myself I was imagining things, but then I accidentally saw his phone's search history. Is it dangerous to have an abortion past the recommended time? When I saw that search, I wasn't sad. Mostly, I just felt relieved, like a huge weight had been lifted. Fujing looked away, embarrassed. His hand holding the lunchbox was pale, trembling slightly. I took the lunchbox from him. This is the last time. Thank you. As I turned to go, Fujing grabbed my arm. Is this it for us? Are we really over? He looked at me with such sad eyes, like a drowning man. He said, I tried, Sang, I really did. I've been going to that parenting class every day. I tried to force myself to accept it. I can't. I just can't. When I think about having a kid tying me down forever, I feel like I'm sinking in quicksand. No matter how hard I fight, I can't escape. But Sang, I love you. Let's not have the baby. Let's start over, just us, okay? Sang, I regret it. I regretted it the second you agreed to the divorce. Sang, I don't want to hurt you, but I don't want to lose you either. Sang, what am I supposed to do? I listened quietly until Fujing finished. I didn't say anything, just looked at him. Fujing stared back, his face blank, and finally, he slowly let go of my hand. Fujing, goodbye. Does Fujing still love me? Maybe, but it's probably more habit than anything. And me? Same thing. 11 years. I was used to him being there, in my home, in my life. Suddenly, it was just me. My heart and my home felt empty. It was a terrible feeling. But what else could I do? Just settle and keep going like this? No way. Breaking a habit is hard, terrifying even. But living the rest of your life just out of habit, that's even scarier. I'm grateful to Fujing. He forced me out of that rut. He let me lose when I could still afford to lose. I scheduled the surgery for the next day. Fujing went with me. He said he wanted to be there for me, one last time. I agreed. I was calm through the whole thing. But when I came out of the operating room, I couldn't stop the tears. Fujing was gone. Slipped away without a word. Xiaobai cursed him out, called him cold-blooded and heartless. I knew he probably just didn't know how to face me. Xiaobai asked, sis, don't you regret it? I shook my head. No, I don't know. I closed my eyes, exhausted. When we're kids, we all do stupid things that make us cringe looking back. We think, how could I have been so dumb? But back then, did we do those things knowing we'd regret them? No. It's just that, at that point in our lives, with our limited experience and maturity, those were the only choices we could make. It's the same now. I can't promise I won't regret this later. I only know that right now, this is what I need to do. As for everything else, I'll leave it to fate. Extra chapter Fujing. After Ji-sang's abortion, Fujing locked himself in his apartment for 2 weeks. His mom had to call a locksmith to get his door open and practically dug him out from under a mountain of trash. What are you trying to do? Kill yourself with takeout. Fujing was miserable. He wailed that he'd lost Ji-sang forever, that he could barely breathe. His mom just sneered. You know what you look like right now? A spoiled brat who didn't get his candy. Fujing glared at her. His mom didn't even flinch. You think this is bad? This is nothing. Just wait until Sang starts dating someone new. Then you'll know what rock bottom feels like. Fujing burst into tears. Even he was surprised. One sentence from his mom and he was a blubbering mess. Fu Jing awkwardly wiped his eyes and choked out, Sang Sang wouldn't. His mom scoffed. Sang Sang is a lot tougher than you. She'll get over this disaster of a relationship and start a new life. Is that really so hard to understand? Fu Jing couldn't handle it. Just hearing it was more than he could take. I have to find Sang Sang. His mom blocked his path. Too late. Fu Jing shook his head. No, it's not. If I just sweet-talk her, I can win her back. Sang Sang loves me. Yes, I'll go win her back, and we'll start over. His mom looked at him, her disappointment clear. Do you even know that women need to recover after an abortion? Bed rest, special diet, no heavy lifting. Some even need 4 antibiotics. I heard her mother came to take care of her personally. Your father and I tried to visit, but they wouldn't even let us in the door. They threw out the supplements we brought. His mom snorted. You really make us proud, don't you? Fu Jing's heart sank. I didn't know. Recovery? Bed rest? He had no idea about any of that. Didn't the doctor say it was a minor procedure? Why would she need to be in bed for so long? Of course you didn't know, his mom snapped. You only ever care about your own feelings, whether you're happy or not. You always need something new and exciting. You've been like that since you were a kid. Forcing you to do something you don't want to is like torture for you. And right now, are you really sad because you lost Ji Sang? Or is it because this feeling of sadness is new to you? Is pain just another thrill? No, that wasn't true. Fu Jing stumbled back and smashed a vase on the floor. How can you say that about me? How can you say that about my feelings for Sang Sang? His mom sighed. Fu Jing, first you need to grow up. You need to learn to take responsibility. Take it slow. It's not like you have a wife or kids tying you down now. Growth, responsibility. Those words felt foreign to Fu Jing. He'd always thought being happy was the most important thing in life. Lots of things made Fu Jing happy, but ever since he met Ji Sang, 90% of his happiness came from her. So why did Fu Jing ask for a divorce? He just didn't feel it for Ji Sang anymore. Holding her hand felt like holding his own. No spark, nothing. Kissing her, hugging her, his heart didn't even speed up. He even started finding her breathing annoying when they slept in the same bed. When he was a kid, he had a puppy. Loved it at first, then decided it was too much trouble and gave it away. But Ji Sang wasn't a puppy. He couldn't just get rid of her when he got bored. He had to keep pretending they were blissfully in love. It was suffocating. Fu Jing was fed up. He started flirting with other people, enjoying the thrill of light touches and suggestive words. It was exciting. Way more exciting than being at home. So Fu Jing asked for a divorce. He'd even figured out what to say if Ji Sang begged him to stay. But Ji Sang just said okay. For a second, Fu Jing's mind went completely blank. Wait, what? This wasn't how it was supposed to go. How could she agree so easily, without even hesitating? Wasn't she going to fight for him at all? And he'd spent so long thinking up excuses. Just a week ago, Ji Sang was still trying to please him. Ji Sang loved him so much. How could she just agree to a divorce the moment he mentioned it? Fu Jing desperately wanted to take back what he'd said. But Ji Sang didn't give him the chance. Fu Jing regretted it. The second the word divorce left his mouth, he regretted it. He wanted to see Ji Sang. But he was scared. He tailed Ji Sang for 3 days. If she even glanced back, he'd duck out of sight, too chicken to even face her. He started drinking every day. And crying when he was drunk. His buddy told him, dude, give it up. Your pride is obviously more important to you than Ji Sang. How are you going to win back your ex-wife if you can't even swallow your pride? Fu Jing thought, yeah, he's right. So he worked up the nerve to accidentally run into Ji Sang. When she saw him, Ji Sang looked surprised. She smiled and said, long time no see. The way she looked, the way she spoke, it was like they'd never been together, just old friends catching up after a long time. Fu Jing couldn't take it. He asked Ji Sang, can we start over? Ji Sang shook her head. I never knew getting rid of you would make me feel so light. You weren't wrong, divorcing you was the right decision. Hearing that, Fu Jing felt a chill run down his spine. His heart turned to ash. Ji Sang started dating someone new 3 years after their divorce. Someone asked her when she was getting married. Ji Sang just smiled and said, I'm not making any plans this time. We'll see where it goes. Hearing that, Fu Jing sneered. He thought her new boyfriend was nothing compared to him. After all, Ji Sang had once told him she never wanted to get married, but she changed her mind for him. She wanted to get married, to grow old with someone. Fu Jing's smile turned into tears. He knew. He was the one who had killed the hopeful, dreaming Ji Sang. And he didn't deserve to be forgiven.